Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. It is July 28th, 2017, approximately 3:50 a.m. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm having this live stream at this time of the morning is once again, we've had a massive coronal mass ejection on the backside of the sun coming from the already notorious Sunspot AR 2665. The Sunspot that all of the professionals said was no problem whatsoever. But so far, we've recorded several CMEs coming from this sunspot. One of them could have been seriously critical if it was Earth-facing. Fortunately for us, it was not. I'm going to show you some photographs later on, and these photographs were taken from the Soho coronagraph C2, and they're showing a very large object that was caught in the explosion from that CME. A lot of people said that it's impossible for something like that to exist. They don't believe in the photographs. Well, listen folks, I have a second set of photographs that were a few frames forward in this coronal mass ejection that are going to prove to you, whether you want to believe it or not, there was a massive object there which possibly initiated enough interference and force on the sun to help create that coronal mass ejection. I'm also going to show you other planetary objects surrounding this massive object. You know, at first looking at some of these photographs, I thought that, you know, these were possibly large particles coming from the CME. But in fact, they weren't. So what you're looking at right now, you're looking at the current 48-hour loop of the SDO. This is the 304 angstrom. And clearly, to the upper left-hand corner over here, you're going to see this massive CME, and this is coming from the Sunspot AR 2665, which in approximately 10 to 14 days is going to be once again Earth-facing. Again, this is the sunspot that all of the professionals said, don't worry about it. There's no activity with this sunspot. But yet, this has been the most active sunspot that we've seen in over a year. And unfortunately for us here on Earth, this will once again turn around and be Earth-facing. So if you have any sense of mind and you can see and visualize what you're looking at now, that is a pretty massive flare. There is a CME directly behind that. I'm going to show it to you. It's pretty damn massive. I'm also going to show you these other sets of photographs that I worked on for hours. And later on this morning, Prep Aussie from Australia is going to be on with us in a live stream, and he's going to show you some of the information that he acquired, and he's going to show you also these other objects near the sun. And real quick folks, you know, I just want to say one thing. Just like the doctor says, because all of us grew up and were educated in our little grade school and high school earth space science class. Are we that dumbed down that we don't think that the possibilities of other stellar objects moving into our solar system as we travel through our galaxy, as our galaxy travels through the universe, do you actually think that we cannot encounter other massive substellar objects, remnants of the universe? Are we that small-minded that we cannot fathom something like this? I hope not, because right now the current state of affairs with our planet, well, we're in dire straits already. Just pay attention to the weather. But yet you're going to find people that tell you, oh, don't worry about the weather, everything is normal. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, it is not normal. Once again, the dumbing down of the world population. The question is, are you going to stand for it? Are you going to open your mind and at least allow the understanding that, yes, the possibilities of larger or even smaller stellar objects moving into our solar system as we move through our galaxy and our galaxy moves through the universe? Pretty basic. So now, once again, on July 28th, just before 6 a.m. UTC time, the solar flares that you see now are accompanied by a massive CME. Multiple CMEs coming from a sunspot, AR 2665, that all of the professionals and the debunkers, which are complete idiots, told you that there was nothing to worry about. However, we've seen 1, 2, 3, now 4 coronal mass ejections from this one sunspot, which is going to be turning back towards us in maybe 10 to 14 days. So whenever you're looking at the Earth compared to the size of the sun, it basically looks like a little dot. So can you only imagine one of these massive flares or massive CMEs coming directly towards the Earth? Well, folks, that's what they refer to as the kill shot. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but again, you have to open your mind and look at what you're seeing and what you've seen over the last 10 to 14 days and realize that these situations can and probably will occur at some time in the future. Hopefully not within our future. But you know, all I do is I try to report on the information and I try to show you what I am finding and what the doctor is finding. You know, I got a lot of emails over the course of the last several days because of the information that I'm revealing. The only thing that I can say, folks, if you don't like what I'm doing, then don't watch my channel. But for all of you that want to see the information, well, you know where to get it. None of us are perfect, but I do my damnedest every single day. And I take a lot of shit for it each and every day. I mean, just yesterday, I got several emails, all death threats. One guy sending me an email telling me that if he ever sees me, he's going to decapitate me and the doctor. He's going to chop her head off. Wow, that's, you know, that's just great to wake up to. Beautiful fan mail. I just love it. So I put my neck out there literally every single day. I got nutcases all around the world wanting to literally see me dead and also see the doctor dead. So today I'm really not in the mood for a bunch of grief. I'm just trying to show all of you what I'm finding, what I'm spending my time investigating and trying to bring the information to you. So, enough of me bitching and complaining. Let's move back to this CME. This was, again, another large explosion coming from AR 2665. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this for a long, long time. That sunspot, I'm worried about it. It's going to be coming back around very soon, 10 to 14 days. I don't have an exact time, but it's coming back around. You know, I was sound asleep, finally getting some rest. But I don't know, something always just wakes me up when something has occurred. And only moments after this CME explosion on the sun, it was probably roughly somewhere between, 5:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. UTC time, woke me up, came straight to my computer, pulled up the SDO, and bingo, there it is. So whether you want to believe it or not, or anybody, I don't know. There must be some type of higher power telling me to get up, get over to my computer, and show people what is happening. So right now it is 4:01 a.m. Eastern Time. I should be sleeping. But I guess the Lord Almighty woke my ass up and said, get over there and show these people what is happening. This is what's happening right now. Now, I don't think that this CME is going to affect us all that much. But the fact of the matter is this sunspot is still massively active, producing some very impressive coronal mass ejections. One thing that's going to be on our agenda for the next couple of days is this bad boy right here, this coronal hole. Now, it doesn't look like it is that impressive, but ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly where our planet is located in reference to the sun. We are just slightly below the equator and just a little tiny dot compared to the size of this massive star we call our sun. So this coronal hole stream is already heading towards us, and we'll be feeling the effects of it for a couple of days. We're already seeing earthquakes. All of these earthquakes now are beginning to bump up above magnitude 4.5, 4.7, and in the low fives, some in the high fives. I believe yesterday there was a magnitude 6.1 that occurred. But here's what I wonder. Are we becoming desensitized to all of this stuff, all of it? Am I reporting on too much of it? Am I letting you know too much of what is happening? Because the last thing that we need to do is become desensitized to what the hell is happening. The minute that happens, the elite, the New World Order, the trolls, the people that want to dumb you down, they win. I never liked losing, but this is not a game. So anywho, let's take a look at the other information that I have coming in. Let's take a look. There is the CME. Let me just blow my screen up here. This happened just a little bit before 6 a.m. UTC time today. Now, we don't have all of the data from Soho yet because it cuts off. But I'll go ahead and I'll play this for you because it's going to cut off right after this this explosion here. So I'll just go ahead and let it play. Oops, I have it in reverse. And you could see it was pretty impressive once again. And this is coming from that sunspot, AR 2665. The one, again, that all of the professionals and the debunkers said, oh, don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong. Now you see, you only saw a flash of that CME because the data cuts off. Probably within the next 4 to 6 hours, this data will be updated and we'll get a better look at that CME as it was ejected. You know, if you folks go to this coronagraph and you slow this down and you start looking at the objects that are moving around and you go frame by frame, sometimes I do this each and every day for hours trying to identify what is passing by our sun. It's difficult, it's time consuming, but this is what I do. There's a lot of weird stuff flying around there that is completely unidentifiable. I found one object earlier this morning. I'll go back, I'll take a screenshot of it, but I don't know what the hell it is. It is a massive rectangular type of object that looks like a freaking craft. It can't be a space rock, because if it was, it would be the size of the Earth. So then you say to yourself, well, what the hell was it? Well, we'll probably never know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, folks, in our solar system that the space agencies don't want you to know about. That's why they have these troll factions out there to discredit everything we say. Listen, the other day, whenever we revealed the photographs from Soho showing that large object, I want you all to understand that these people have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 fake accounts, each of them. They pull these fake YouTube accounts up on one screen, 5 or 6 or 7 of them at one time. And they go back and forth making comments, and they're actually talking to themselves using different accounts to make it seem like other people are paying attention to their comments. But in actuality, that is them commenting to themselves using multiple accounts. You know, our moderator in there, Mr. Curious Unknown, I alerted him the other day that they cloned his YouTube channel account like they've done to me many, many times. That's why he has changed his avatar. But there's not much we can do about it, folks. You have to realize that these oppositions do exist, and they want to dumb you down. They want to change your mind. That's what they're paid to do. So this was the C2 coronagraph. I did look this up on the C3, which is the light blue version of this coronagraph. There's not much showing on that one yet, but I did see some very interesting things appearing on the C3. I'll wait for the data to update. Now we're going to move into stereo imaging. And with this stereo imaging, this actually gives us a little bit of a view from the back side of the sun in a little bit of a different perspective. Okay, now I'm gonna let this run, but this is the sunspot. This is AR 2665. This is the one that was facing us 2 weeks ago, that created the big CMEs. Again, the sunspot that all of the professionals said, don't worry about. It's normal. As we say in Italian, hey, forget about it. Yeah, right. It's already produced several massive CMEs, and it's only by the grace of God that we weren't all destroyed by some of these CMEs coming from this sunspot. Now, look right here. You're going to see that solar flaring. It was ejected upward towards the top of the sun. That's why we were watching the solar flaring over here. And you won't see it on this one. Just let me flip back. You'll see the solar flaring come up from this direction over here. And that sunspot is turning back towards us. And you'll see that ejection come from this side. That's what we're seeing here, but in an opposite direction. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play for you. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. You could see it for yourself. Now, the data is limited because this has just occurred. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, that solar flare and that CME, that blew millions of miles. Millions in a few split seconds. You know, I'm always concerned about what's happening, but over the course of the last several days, with more of this data coming in and me seeing what is occurring with this sunspot and it being almost directly in the equatorial region of the sun where we are pretty much located, the Earth, yeah, I'm concerned. Because that bad boy is going to be turning back towards us here in about 10 to 14 days, and we're going to deal with it. I mean, I would hope that it would just go away. Live to see another day. But that's pretty impressive. You know, if you're an astronomer or a solar scientist or just some guy like me that's been doing this for a long time, yeah, that's pretty impressive. And if this was actually Earth facing, because we're looking at the back side of the sun now, but if we were looking at this from the SDO's perspective, then we would be looking dead on at that sunspot. And if that would have occurred right there, yeah, we'd be in a little trouble. But that's what's going to be coming our way in about 2 weeks. Now, this is the Helio viewer, and I went ahead and I pulled up the information. But if you look over here, you see these numbers. If you follow my cursor, these numbers are in red, which means I can't view the information. They've basically stopped the information. We can't see it just yet. But this is, let's get this out of the way. This is AR 2665. This is the last bit of data that I got from Helio Viewer, and there you go. That's a bad boy right there, folks. And once again, you see kind of strange objects right here. You know, they're very hard to identify. Are they particles, massive particles being ejected from this sunspot? Yeah, pretty big possibility. but they usually don't show up on the helio viewer when you're looking at this angstrom. So again, it makes you wonder. Now that we know that this sunspot's moving our way once again, there was a pretty big coronal mass ejection, we're going to have to stay on top of this and monitor it as it rolls back around towards the Earth. But now I want to get into the file of photographs from this massive object that was seen in the CME explosion just a few days ago. A lot of the trolls and the debunkers, they're saying, oh, that's just part of the CME. Well, I kind of beg to differ, and there's a lot of other people that think you're wrong. So everybody doesn't think that you can have an object that large within our solar system. People were saying, oh, it would blow up the sun, it would destroy the Earth. Well, the fact of the matter is, folks, we don't know what type of an object it is. If we did, that'd be great. Now, I don't know how much your resolution is set on your televisions and your video monitors for your computer. But if you go to your YouTube screen and you click on that little gear, the resolution will come up. You should always have your resolution set at about 720p. That will give you better resolution on what I'm showing you all the time. Make sure you turn that resolution up. For those of you that have better high definition, move it up to 1080. Now, real quick, take a look at these objects. That's a perfectly spherical object where my cursor is pointing to. That is a perfectly spherical object right here, right here. This object here, same thing. These are perfectly spherical objects, folks. Right here, you can't see very well, but I'm going to show you more clearer photographs. 1, 2, 3, 4 objects, possibly rotating at the top of this object, but they are with this object. There are more of them. This object here. These are not stars, folks. Looky down here. There you go. See where my cursor is? Pay close attention. These are not stars. This object that you're seeing here, as a lot of people were saying, oh, I can see right through it. You're crazy. No, you cannot see right through it. What you were looking at were objects in front of this massive object. In front of it. Again, turn the resolution up on your computer screen. I got better pictures. Now this picture here, this is a few frames forward. These are different photographs than what was shown to all of you the other day. So that to me proves that this was not just some kind of crazy looking anomaly coming out of this massive CME. So how could the anomaly stay perfectly spherical through multiple frames, never losing its shape and revealing other objects? Now, let's take a look. See where my cursor is? What does that look like to you? That's about the size of the Earth. There's more of them. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have several objects right here. These are not stars, folks. They're not stars. It took me hours and hours to define these photographs to the point where you can see what I'm seeing. Now, this is, again, just changed a little bit just to give you the perspective of these objects. This object was not see-through. So please, anybody who thinks that, get it out of your mind. It was not see-through. These objects are clearly in front of this object. Once again, you have a perfectly spherical object right here. It's not a star. Here and here and here. These objects are pretty close to the size of the Earth. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have this object, which is probably, that's much larger than the Earth. So now, do you think that you can see through this object? I mean, let's be realistic here. How can you maintain a perfectly spherical object within a massive CME ejection? Let's be real here. Look at that. I don't know what that space rock is. They said that it was possibly Mercury. I don't know. Over here. It's not round like a planet. It looks like a massive asteroid. Let's move on to the next picture because they get even better. Now, I used some pretty good software to try to bring out all of this information for you, so you can see it. I don't want to zoom in too close because it pixelizes. Does that look like a star to you? Does that look like a background star? No, it does not. That looks like a small planet. But it could be anything. But it's definitely not a star. They're everywhere. You can see the difference in lighting on these objects. As the light from the coronal mass ejection lit them up like the 4th of July. Once again, at the top of this object, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another object here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Can you see through it now? I don't think so. I'm not done. Now, let's get in a little closer. Does that look like a three-dimensional object to you right where my cursor is? Look at the object here. Does that look three-dimensional? Does that look three-dimensional? One, 2, 3. This object here, again, I'm not sure about the resolution on your monitors or your big flat screen TVs or your cell phone, but that, my dear folks, is some type of planetary object. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's there. And you're not seeing through this big solid object here. I'm sorry, you're just not seeing through it. Again, at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I spoke with the doctor several times yesterday because these photographs that we captured, they're disturbing to me simply because I know better. We're not seeing through this object. Come on. How are you going to have a perfectly spherical object appear in a massive explosion from the sun. And it stays there from, it's over here at the other point in the other photographs, and then now it's here. And then in the other photographs, as the time lapse goes by, it disappears naturally because it's not stationary. There's another object here. Another object here. These objects are about the size of the Earth, these small objects. They may be slightly bigger, I don't know. Do we know what it is? Absolutely not. But I can tell you this much, it's not see-through, and you're not looking at background stars, folks. These are not stars. Let's look at the next photograph. Once again, the resolution I worked on all day till I was exhausted with this. Once again, object here. 4 of them at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This object is so clear you can see shading as the light is reflected from this massive CME. It lit it up. And this object down here, same thing. This object right here. I know it may not be that clear for all of you, but turn the resolution up if you can. Check it out. There's another one right here. Let's move to the next photograph. Now, this one I was able to turn into this nice blue color. And what I was trying to do was reassure myself that this object was there. And so were the other objects. This is all the same photograph, but we're using different coloring techniques to bring out the detail. Once again, perfectly spherical object here, and here, and here, and here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this big dark area here, I was talking with the doctor several times yesterday, and there's a high possibility that this might have been a gaseous cloud that was already coming from this object as it passed by. We're now starting to think that the interaction of this massive object is what created that super large CME. Is it possible? You're damn right it's possible. Now, this is a photograph that I took from the helio viewer. And the reason why I took this was because they have an Earth scale little model that you can put in there. As you can see it up here. Look how tiny. You probably can't even see that on your screen. Look how tiny the Earth is. These objects that are around this object are pretty big. They're as big as the Earth, if not bigger. But they're everywhere. Now, this is the photograph, the original one that we showed you the day before yesterday. I just showed you photographs that were several frames advanced forward, showing that this object stayed in view and was moving off screen. So again, if you think that you're looking straight through that, think again, because these objects that you're looking at, here and here and here and all these little objects, they're in front of this, and these are not background stars. Again, do you think that this object perfectly spherical is going to appear in a massive ejection from the sun? And what, just because it disappears in some time-lapsed photography on this coronagraph? Excuse me. I've caught the object in several frames, moving forward. I even spotted it as it was coming in, and much smaller, as this coronal mass ejection started to occur. How's that possible? Just changing some of these colors and using some techniques, you can clearly see that these smaller objects, now these photographs are not as well defined as the others, but you can see these objects are in front of this object. These are not stars, folks. They're not stars. You could use a lot of different techniques to bring out the definition of these objects. It's hard, it's time consuming. But again, when people say, oh, I could see right through it, I could see right through it. No, you don't see right through it. What you're looking at are objects in front of it. And if you think that the sun can produce a perfectly spherical anomaly like this, I don't know what to say. Now, what we were working on yesterday was trying to, judge the perspective of this object, and it's very hard to do when you're not looking at something that's three-dimensional, distances, shapes and sizes. It's very hard to judge this. People were sending me emails, asking me what the distances were and what the sizes were. And, I mean, listen, those are just impossible questions to answer because we're looking at a flat photograph. And once again, just some color changes to try to bring out the definition of this object. It clearly shows you, and you're not looking straight through that. You're looking at these objects that are not stars. I'll just pan through these real quick so you can kind of check them out. It shows up very well in black and white. Now this clearly shows you that these objects, 1, 2, 3, all of these, they're not in front, or excuse me, they're not behind or see-through. They're out in front, right here, in front of the camera. To me, it looks like there's a lot going on in this photograph. And once again, it maintains its perfect spherical shape. So how is that even possible? I mean, are you just going to consider this to be some freak anomaly that came out of a coronal mass ejection out of the sun? And it maintained a perfect spherical shape. Here's another good photograph. And there you can clearly see these small objects. They're about the size of Earth or bigger. They're clearly in front of this big massive object. What it is, I don't know, folks. I wish I did. I wish I did. And we can't be that small-minded to think that, you know, another massive object could not move through our solar system. And then you have these people that say, oh, they start crying the blues that if there was an object like that in our inner solar system, it would destroy the sun would destroy it would destroy the Earth. Okay, well, how in the hell do you know that? Have you ever witnessed that before? Where is your evidence? Please show me your facts that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, I'm not talking about, don't give me some stupid mathematical equation on a big long chalkboard. I want you to show me credible evidence that a large stellar object like that moving through our inner solar system would eject planets out of their orbits, would destroy everything. Where are you getting your information? What are you basing that on? Have you seen this happen before? Were you a witness to that event? No, you were not. And nobody on the face of this planet has ever witnessed anything like that. So therefore, you can't even speak on that. I don't care what degrees you maintain on your wall. I don't care what your education level is. I don't care what your experience is. You cannot step up and say that those events would destroy everything. It's impossible to make that stupid statement because we don't know. No one in this lifetime has ever recorded an object like that moving through our solar system. They're basing their remarks on old science, old scientific theories and practices related to gravity. But who the hell are they to say that an object can't pass through or even become part of our solar system? I mean, do any of you have any credible evidence that this would destroy the sun, this would destroy the Earth, this would destroy the entire solar system? I mean, can somebody please show me the damn evidence? Show me facts. I don't want to see math, because math proves nothing. I don't want to see some sandbox model on your computer showing me planets being ejected out of the solar system because you put all of the parameters and all of the data into your little sandbox program and showed me a brown dwarf coming in and expelling all of the planets. Besides the little toy program, when has anyone witnessed that event? Nobody has. So therefore, anyone's remarks on this would destroy the sun, this would destroy our planets, this would upset the entire solar system and destroy everything, you just can't even say that because you don't know. All I know is that object right there on our screen looks real as hell. You know, all too often, just because someone speaks a good game, they speak very intelligently, they throw out a bunch of big words and fancy word salad, you tend to believe them. But let's just think about it. These people don't know for sure what the reactions would be if another object came into our solar system, passed by. They all say, oh, it would perturb all of the planets. Well, over the course of the last 20 years or more, we've seen these perturbations on all of the planets from Pluto all the way in. It's been well documented. Very, very substantial changes in every planet in this known solar system. But nobody talks about that. So you don't think that an object like that could be passing by the sun? Well, look at the reactions to the damn sun. It produced a massive shock wave of a CME. And by the grace of God, that CME lit that sucker up so we can see it. You're not seeing through it. You're looking right at it. This is a pretty good view here. It's sharpened. I sharpened this photograph up. So once again, you can see that these other objects are not behind, or you're not seeing through this. Later on this morning, we're going to be on with Prep Aussie. We were trying to get together yesterday, but remember we have a 13-hour time difference, and I was pretty busy yesterday. The doctor was very busy, and so was Prep. But Prep's got some great information pertaining to what we saw and this course of events. Pretty interesting stuff. Once again, you can clearly see, folks, these objects are in front of this huge spherical object. What this object is right here, I don't know. It's pretty damn big. And it was close enough for that coronal mass ejection to light it up like the 4th of July. So if I'm looking at this object, and I spoke in detail with many, many people yesterday, and Prep's been doing his work on his observations. The doctor stared at her computer screen for 14 hours yesterday, writing a report, getting other reports prepared. And I myself sat so long that my legs fell asleep trying to review these photographs and trying to bring out the detail to prove this is a solid object. You're not seeing through it. Took a lot of backlash yesterday, a lot of abuse, but that's okay. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But let's be logical here. No human being on this planet has ever recorded another object like this moving through our solar system. So we don't know what would actually occur. You can theorize, you can, give your thoughts on it, but there's no concrete proof or evidence that an object like that passing by, even that close to the sun, would destroy the sun or destroy that object. Well, we did see a pretty massive reaction in the form of that CME. I've seen many of these coronal mass ejections over the years. I've played them in slow motion. I've stared at them for hours. I never saw anything like that before. Pretty interesting. You know, and I spent the day trying to bring these objects into view. It's not that easy. But once again, you know, just looking at this, you can clearly see a perfect spherical object in there. And these other objects are a little pixelated, but you can clearly see they're in front of this object and you're not seeing through it. And I really think that the only people that were leaving comments yesterday, in a multitude of comments, yelling and screaming, jumping up and down, and saying, I could see through it! I could see through it! No, you can't see through shit. You just don't know what you're looking at. Or you're just a pack of trolls, but, you know, banding together to try to create a situation in the live chat or the comment section. Once again, you can clearly see perfectly spherical object, and these other objects are clearly in front. You're not seeing through anything. So I took so many different still shots and examining them and trying to adjust the coloration. So that large CME on the 23rd definitely revealed some type of stellar object near the sun. And again, you're not seeing through that. That's a solid object, and you're seeing these other smaller objects in front of it. But going back to some of these photographs, these are a couple of frames advanced forward. And these are the best photographs that I could really come up with, showing you that these objects are three-dimensional, perfectly spherical, and there you have it. It's pretty interesting. Scary. You wonder what the hell's going on. We don't have all the answers. That's why I do what I do, because I want answers. No one's going to give them to me. So once again, folks, you know, I value all of your opinions. You know, each and every one of you that are with me every day, I value your opinions. But when people just immediately shoot from the hip and start yelling and screaming, I can see through it, I can see through it. Well, maybe you need to adjust the resolution on your computer or your television. But I can't see through that object. It looks pretty damn solid to me. And I'm seeing multiple objects, some the size of the Earth, some larger, all around this big, massive behemoth of, I don't even know what you want to call it. Trying to judge the perspective and the positioning of this object is a little difficult. You know, we only have frames that are given to us through the coronagraph every 12 to 16 minutes. Sometimes it varies. So judging its movement, it's hard. But this was the best that I can come up with for now, clearly showing you that that's a solid object. It has other objects with it. They're all around the size of the Earth or bigger. I would say between the size of the Earth and Venus. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm nuts? Some do, some don't. I put these photographs up on my television yesterday. I've got a super high definition television, and I have to say, when I put these photographs up on my screen, 72 inches, it was like I was in a spacecraft looking right at these damn things through a porthole window. They were clear as a bell. So again, adjusting the resolution on your little YouTube viewer by clicking on that little gear, moving your resolution up to at least 720p. Some of you may even have the option of 1080. You'll start to see things a lot clearer on your videos. But if you think you can see through that, get your eyes checked. Get your eyes checked, because you're not seeing through anything. Just based on my video before this, the one that we revealed this information from the 23rd, I got about 1,700 emails. And a lot of people were going to the Soho C2 coronagraph. And, they were starting to do their own investigations. I know a lot of you aren't used to spending that amount of time analyzing these photographs, trying to change the contrast and the detail and the sharpness, and trying to bring out more detail. It does take a lot of time. But that's what I do. That's what Prep Aussie does. That's what the doctor does. And others on YouTube that are really trying to find out the truth and bring this information to all of you, that's what they do too. It's taken me a long time to develop some of these techniques and learn. And the fact of the matter is, folks, we are seeing some really whacked out weather around the world. Flooding everywhere. When we talked about Planet X a year ago, and if you were listening to my channel, and folks, in 1 year, I have produced over 950 videos. 950. My channel's been on YouTube for just a year. 950 videos. You got other channels that have been on YouTube for 5 years talking about this subject matter. They've only produced about 400, 500, 600 videos. Groundbreaking information coming from those channels? No, I don't think so. Now I've got some of these other channels criticizing me and the doctor because we're trying to be at the forefront of this information, not as a damn competition, but as an informational source. So within this past year, I've produced over 950 videos trying to detail what is happening. I think that shows serious dedication to what I'm doing. Then you got those bozos out there that jump up and down and yell and scream and shit their pants and say, oh, he's just doing it for the money. Yeah, doing it for the money. Okay, whatever. This money from YouTube, it doesn't pay my bills. And then the doctor's now starting to get all kinds of, threatening comments and threatening messages that are being sent to her inbox on YouTube. You know, you can send that private message on YouTube. You know, people threatening that they want to decapitate her. They want to cut her head off. Come on, man. You know, and she was kind of upset yesterday because she's reading these messages and, you know, she was pretty stunned at, you know, those types of threats. She's on her last chapter for this book, and then we're going to publish it. But I think that's what they are really scared of, is they are scared of the publication of this book, which is going to throw a shitload of people under the bus. And it's going to expose a lot. And then we're going to start organizing the public speaking engagements. And at that point in time, we're going to show people a lot of things that's probably going to blow some minds. But you're not going to be able to censor us in a live presence. I think that's what they're most fearful of. We all know that these other factions are fearful of whistleblowers. People that reveal this type of information. They want it silenced. I think it's pretty bad whenever, you know, you're sending these crazy absurd messages to the doctor. I mean, I get them too. They don't bother me. But she's kind of new to that situation. And yesterday, after reading those messages, I saw some fear. But that's what they want to do. They want to cast that fear into your gut to make you second guess what you're doing. Well, I can tell you this much: each and every day I wake up to threats in my email. I wake up to threats in the comment section and in the private messaging section of the YouTube videos. And listen, it doesn't bother me one bit. The fact of the matter is, folks, we definitely have something going on. I think things are actually progressing. I think we're going to probably make some more big discoveries. And naturally, you know, you'll have your haters out there that will try to discredit you. But as long as you know that we are working diligently to try to prove this. And looking at photographs like this, catching this after that CME or during this CME, and putting together the data, and then watching what's happening around the world. Wow. How could you sit back and say everything is okay? Everything is normal. You know, whenever you have these people telling you this, you just ought to reach out and just Just tap them one right in the forehead. You know? It's like that old V8 commercial, you know, where you punch someone in the forehead and say, oh, I had a V8 today. Because when people are telling you that, they're trying to dumb you down. They're trying to make you think that you're nuts. But yet, this world flooding is getting worse. You know, where I live in the Northeast, they were issuing flood warnings early yesterday afternoon before it even rained. And it hasn't rained yet. But they see it coming. So now for the next 48 hours where I live, starting later on this morning, we're going to get about 2.5 inches of rain in a very short amount of time. River levels are going to rise straight up. All the low-lying areas, they're going to get flooded. What's happening around the world with the flooding? Why is all of it occurring all of a sudden? Think back to last year. Did we have all of this massive flooding around the world last year? No, we did not. I mentioned in multiple videos last year, telling everyone, whenever we start to see the flooding and the increase in the magnitude of earthquakes and the depth of the earthquakes, something is occurring. Are we getting closer? Probably. Do I know the exact timeline of all of this? No, I do not. Is it truly happening? Slowly. I just want to bring you the information, folks. That's all. I don't want to change your minds. You're grown adults. You could make up your own mind. But I think that as we follow this subject matter and we uncover more and more and more, it now becomes our responsibility, mine and yours, the doctors, and everyone else watching and following this information. It's becoming our responsibility to try and wake some people up. But as I move through my life day to day, and I go out and I encounter other people, and I just watch them. I watch people. Nobody's looking up. Everybody's looking at their cell phone. I had a lady yesterday driving in her brand new Lincoln, talking on a cell phone, tapping away, sending a text message, and she almost hit me head on. I actually had to come to a dead stop and blow the damn horn. So that's what people are doing. People really aren't interested in looking up. They're looking down. But when you start to look up is when you really start to notice that things are looking different. And they have been looking different for a long time. The only reason why you're not noticing it is because you have your face stuffed into your cell phone. I love the technology. I use my cell phone constantly for a wealth of information. But every time I step outside my door or I step out on my back deck, the first thing I do is look up. And I've been doing that for a long time. But it is my belief that we definitely have a lot of objects in our solar system that we don't know about. You know, then I had this whack job, you know, leaving comments on my channel, the doctor's channel, and telling us that he's a professional astronomer and he knows this and he knows that. And then I click on his little avatar and I go to his YouTube channel, and he doesn't have any videos about anything, nothing, zero. So you figure if somebody had a YouTube channel called The Truth About Astronomy, you think maybe they would have a little content on their YouTube channel? No, the YouTube channel was just made the other day. It has no content, and it is a fake account. So it's very easy to make a fake YouTube account through Gmail just to get onto YouTube and talk shit. Because that's what these idiots do. Later on this morning, folks, if you're not doing anything, we're going to try to get on with Prep Aussie. I think about 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And Prep's got some good information he wants to show you. Well, we're going to show these photographs again. I still have some other imaging that I'm working on, and I'm actually going to cut this live stream off in a few minutes because I want to get to that work, because it does take some time. But I just want each and every one of you to know I'm doing my best. The doctor's doing her best. And there's a lot of other people out there that are doing their best to bring you the most credible finds and information. And there's always going to be that section of haters that just don't like what you're doing. Maybe they're mentally ill, they're deranged, just, I don't know, maybe they're just complete idiots. But I'd like to ask one thing. For all of you that do have an open mind, and maybe you do see what I'm seeing, because we all may have a different perspective. But if you can do me a favor, you know, when I have my back turned because I can't be in the comment section of all of these videos every minute of the day, I can't answer every single question every minute of the day. But if you could just do me a favor, if you see someone that is slandering me and slandering the doctor, and people just making these absolutely idiotic comments, if you have a minute, slap them around for me. Drop a comment on top of these idiots. Because see, what's happening, folks, is they have all of these fake accounts, and they're flooding the comment section with all of these negative comments. So therefore, when someone new comes to our channel, wants to leave a comment, maybe they're reading comments, well, they start reading all of these negative comments and all of these slanderous comments, and they think, oh my, what did I get myself into? Now they're referring to myself and the doctor as scammers, criminals, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm a real criminal. You think if I was this big-time criminal, you think they would have locked me up a long time ago? No, they just monitor what we're doing. That's all. Now I got that guy over there on the Higher Truth channel bashing our doctor, talking shit out of his mouth. You know, and I supported that guy for the last year, gave him props on my channel a lot, and now he's going to go over there and spew the garbage that he's spewing. Maybe that cancer that he says he has gone to his freaking brain. I don't know what type of educational background he comes from. I don't know if he's a physics major. He says he's in the medical profession. But, you know, I've never slandered him, his channel, or his information. I've supported the guy. I supported WSO. I supported a lot of channels. I've had a lot of these people come to me for help. When WSO lost their channel, who's the first person they came to? They came to me. Oh, Scott, can you help me? Can you help me get my subscribers back? My channel's suspended for weeks. Yeah, sure, I'll help WSO. I helped Steve. He put on 5,000–6,000 new subscribers after one live stream with me. Did I get a thank you? Pretty much no. Then we got that reject out there, Chris Potter. Same thing. You know, help me, help me, help me. And then when you do help him, he turns around and turns into a notorious troll, which he probably was in the beginning, and basically wanted to just contain the doctor's reporting with his tiny little YouTube channel. And the only reason why he has almost 4,000 subscribers is because of me. And this dipshit says that he brought me into the community. Well, listen, Chris, I hope you're listening to this. You didn't bring me anywhere. I brought you up from the depths of hell where you're at. You keep nipping on Daz's heels. You keep on playing around with those Satan worshipers, those Luciferian scum. You'll see where it gets you. Same thing goes for any of these other channels. If you want to sit there and slander people, and if you do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. I always follow the eye for an eye. I don't fall for the turn the other cheek. I'm not a pushover. So the guy from the Higher Truth channel, if you want to continue talking shit about our physicist, well then maybe you and her ought to have a live stream talk and discuss matters professionally, because I did have respect for you, but now you're talking like a troll. You're talking like a shill. Instead of trying to collaborate and put information together, you're sounding like a little brat. And as of lately, all you do is just complain. So don't sit there and talk shit. Produce some more videos. Get some more credible information out there. Same goes for all the other YouTube channels reporting on this. If you want to reach out to me and reach out to the doctor, do it in a professional manner. Send me an email. Give me a shout out on one of your videos, because I watch all of them. I watch all of the information that's out there. But don't think for a minute that you're going to step up to the plate and slander me or the doctor, because you're going to get it right back. People need to grow the hell up, start acting like adults, not little children in the damn playground. And yes, I do stick up for myself. And unfortunately, people are creating drama for me and the doctor. And hey, I will stand up for myself no matter what. I will stand up for myself to anyone. I don't care what your stature is. I don't care who you are. I don't care what agency you work for. I don't care what your education is. I don't care. If you step to me in that fashion, I'm going to stand straight up to you. That's just me. But anywho, folks, I wanted to bring you this information on this new CME that's popped off. There's going to be some more information coming out. We'll see how they downplay it once again. And I'm going to be pretty vocal. I'm going to be really, really vocal over the next 2 weeks about this Sunspot, this AR 2665. I'm going to call some people out. I'm going to call some people out that were saying, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Oh, there's nothing to worry about. That's all we hear, but yet we see the issues. But nobody is going back and questioning these fools that made the statements, there's nothing to worry about. But yet, people are losing their lives, catastrophic damage everywhere, but yet, there's nothing to worry about. I don't see it that way. I see it in a different light. I see that there is something to worry about. I see that there is great concern. Hey, if you don't care, go about your life. When the day of reckoning comes, you're going to stand in front of your Creator. You're not going to be given a choice. We have a chance. We can prepare. You don't have to go completely crazy on massive preparation like some of these other prep organizations. Hey, I'm nothing against them, but hey, all the preparation in the world is not going to save you during a massive catastrophe. You may survive for a while, but the preparation I'm talking about is I'm talking about knowledge. What's happening? Our perception of what's happening. So we can understand it. So the surprise isn't that great. At least we know what the hell is going on. I don't like those big surprises. Unless you're going to roll up and surprise me with a brand new Mercedes, that's a different story. Fact of the matter is, folks, we have something going on. We don't have all the answers yet. We may never. But myself and the doctor and people like Prep Aussie and a lot of the other YouTube channels out there that are striving to find and disclose and investigate and research the information, hats off to everybody. And all of you guys too, all of the viewers, the subscribers. I don't even like to call you subscribers. I mean, I just think like you guys are all team members, because I do read all of your emails. I do look at all of the pictures. I do watch all of the videos. My days are consumed with all of this. And now, just yesterday, those despicable idiots over at WTF Sky are making up fake letters that they're stating that people are sending these letters into them, and now they produce this public what do they call that, a public service announcement where Chubby is reading these letters from people they're supposed to be sending these letters in, and they read this absolutely ridiculous letter yesterday stating that this man was so caught up in Nibiru and Planet X videos from YouTube, and he was blaming, well, the wife was blaming Steve Olson and his channel, blaming me and my channel for him taking too much sleep medication and dying in his sleep. So now they're blaming deaths on us. Listen, that dipshit Dave Dazza, the cameraman, tried to pull that crap on me last September with the death of a 16-year-old girl from the UK who hung herself based on things that she was watching pertaining to the apocalyptic 2012. He's trying to blame that on me. Blame it all on me. Every person that takes their last breath, well, blame it all on us. I didn't buy it. I saw right through it. All smoke and mirrors, people. You know, those idiots over at WTF Sky now, they're government shills. They're paid disinformationalists. And why do you think that they're using Nibiru Planet X in their heading and even changed one of their channel names to Nibiru Planet X WTF Sky Live? So more and more of you get faked out to go over there and listen to their garbage. You know, that idiot Jake Riley and that other smack off that he has over there with him, the Grand Solar Minimum freak, that Lee Wheelbarrow, they're all disinformationalists. Now all of a sudden they want to report on catastrophes related to the weather and the flooding and, you know, the CMEs and blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's nothing to worry about. It's all part of the Ice Age. Alrighty then. In the meantime, they're the biggest troll channel on YouTube. Between all of them, they must have over 100 fake YouTube accounts. Why would you have fake YouTube accounts if you actually want people to believe you? You're a bunch of liars. And now you're putting up fake letters from people that are supposedly writing into you. Writing these sorrowful letters. Listen, I could make those up myself. Turn on a soap opera. Just listen, yeah, that's all. Big soap opera. Do I believe the letter that Mari wrote and she even cried? Boo-hoo, I can't believe this. That was one hell of an acting job. In the meantime, while she is fake crying like Chris Potter does on his videos, the crocodile tears, she's stuffing donuts in her face and laughing at all of us. And then you got that Jake Riley over there. I mean, the guy sells used cars. What, all of a sudden we're supposed to believe him about everything? Get the hell out of here. Credibility in the freaking toilet, hanging out with a turd. Don't fall for the disinformation, folks. Don't even watch it. Because when you do, they're going to reel you in. They're going to copy and clone your YouTube channel like they did to my moderator, Mr. Curious Unknown. He was a victim of it 24 hours ago. They'll steal your identity because that's what they do. I don't even believe that the identities that they show on their channel, that's probably not even who they are. Who knows? Remember, this is the biggest cover-up in world history. I truly believe it. We're uncovering more and more and more every single day. But I hope I cleared up a lot with a lot of you, and a lot of other people that said that this object was see-through. This object was not see-through. It appears in multiple frames as those frames advance forward. The object was not stationary. And it came with a bunch of other little objects that you can clearly see. So I hope we cleared that up. And once again, I hope each and every one of you continue to share our videos on your Twitter accounts and your Facebook. Share them with whomever you possibly can. I appreciate the support. I appreciate each and every one of you having my back, because you know what? If we were on the street, you can count on me. You wouldn't even have to think twice. That's who I am. That's my character. I'm the one person that you know that you can count on. I'm not here to deceive you. We're just here to help. We're here to disclose. I'm going to keep on pushing forward. Like I said, I've produced over 950 videos in the past year. We'll be pushing on 1,000 real quick. That's why they want to nail my channel. That's why they come after me as hard as they do. But I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to continue to push on. And like I said, folks, the doctor has one more chapter in her book. She's going to be hopefully finishing that today or tomorrow. And it's going to go to proofreading, editing, and then straight to publishing. And hopefully, by the end of August, it will be available in the form of an ebook and a paperback. And then we're going to go from there. But as you can see, each and every day, something's popping up. And that's to be expected. This is what's happening. As you can see right there. Sunspot AR 2665 moving back around and has already produced another CME. And that solar flaring right there, that's pretty impressive, but also scary. And as more of this data comes in on the Soho over the next couple of hours, we'll get a better view of what occurred with this most recent CME. And again, this was probably sometime between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. UTC time. So we'll have to wait for this data to update to get the rest of this video footage. But it should be pretty interesting. Once again, folks, I'm going to cut this live stream off right now. I'm going to start getting back to my imaging, and then we're going to have a live stream with Prep Aussie in a few hours, probably around 8 a.m. Eastern time. He's going to divulge and show his findings. A lot of it's going to be related to this past CME that occurred a few days ago. And I've seen some of the images already, and it's pretty eye-opening, undeniable, unbelievable, and yes, it's there, and it's not see-through. So look, guys, stick by us, and we will definitely stick by you. Make sure you stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. This is Scott from Planet X News and the Nibiru channel. I thank all of you for watching.